You are more powerful than you think you are. You are more intuitive than you think you are. You can endure more than you give yourself credit. Why do I say these things? Well, I feel like, and maybe this is my experience, but I live in a world, and we live in a world, where people greatly underestimate themselves. Not only do they underestimate their own potential, but they underestimate their inner power. Now, there was a time where I was at a friend's house, and we were just hanging. This was a while back in Texas. And I was playing video games and playing chess. And then there was a moment where we sat back and watched this nature video. It was some videos like a National Geographic or like just, the Nature Channel type thing. And it showed a tribe. And I don't remember exactly where they were geographically, but I remember the villagers had some very interesting and unique qualities that I feel like are within all of us, but things that we don't realize because we don't really have that pressure. Especially here in America, there are things that, people do go through, but people don't have to go through. So in this village, the tribesmen would go out for the women and children, and they would do this thing, almost a ritual, where they would climb these giant trees. Now, in order to climb these trees, they had to literally fashion equipment. So they had to make this sort of technology almost to where they had hatchets to carve into the tree to hack their way up. And then they also had these little pouches, these sack pouches that they made for their bodies to, to transport the honey. So they would climb the tree, this giant tree. And once they got all the way up, even as they were climbing, they're hatcheting holes inside the tree all the way up and just sticking their feet in the holes and then hatcheting more holes and sticking their feet in the holes. And the guy even said in the subtitles in his own language, I read, he said, if you... He didn't say, if you look down, you will fall. He didn't say, if you are weak, you will fall. He said, and I quote, if you have fear, you will die. You will fall. Yeah. Like if you have any fear, you will fall. So it's not about looking down. It's not about, being strong or weak. He said it was about fear, courage. If you have fear, you will fall, he said. I said, wow. So you can't have any fear to begin with to make that climb. Fear has to be something that is distant from you. So they make the climb, right? They go all the way up this tree and you hear it. The bees are buzzing around these honeycombs. Giant honeycombs on these trees, right? And I don't know how the cameramen were following these villagers, but they were able to capture them taking the honeycomb by hand from, the tree and sticking them in the pouches. And sometimes eating them, just eating a little bit with their hands and then sticking the rest in the pouches as they were sending the pouches down to the women and children, to send them back to the village. But all the while, they are being stung repetitively by bees. I'm talking huge bees, like wasps, like whatever, but they're being stung over and over and over. But there is one crucial factor. there is one thing that I found so interesting. They didn't show any signs of pain. An onlooker would notice that they were just busy at work. All the while the bees were stinging them, it was like another day on the job. No signs of showing pain. They might swat a couple out, they were swatting them away like flies, like they were a nuisance. I've seen these folks, these tribesmen, getting stung again and again and again while they reached in, grabbed the honey, put the honeycomb in the bag, and then they even took a break. They even sat up there while they were still getting stung by bees and waited for a little bit before they came all the way back down. Because it was a long journey up that tree, right? Now the women and children are down there eating the honeycomb. And sometimes even ingesting bees that are just still on the honey as they're putting them in their mouth. And I'm saying to myself, what? Like, this is incredible. How is this possible? But I underestimated the human body. I underestimated the human being. We are spiritual beings living a human experience, not the other way around. That means that the potential and possibilities are pretty much limitless. If you can believe it, you can make it so. If you can believe that you could be immune to bee stings, guess what? I've seen evidence. I've seen it. It's possible. We can endure so much more than we give ourselves credit. David Goggins, ultra marathoner, did 3 hell weeks in 1 year. One of them with pneumonia, on shaky legs. He's like all these things that he put himself through, the pain. He came up with this principle of 40%. And he says that when we're out there, when we're giving it our all, when we're doing things on a level where we're just pushing ourselves to the limit, to the maximum, right? Or what we think is the maximum, when we're pushing ourselves to the absolute limit, to the brink of destruction, he says we only gave 40%. We're still only at 40%. He said we got another 60% left in the tank. We don't even realize. Until we push past the tipping point, that threshold that we think is our limit. It's like Bruce Lee said, there are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. So think about this, my friends. Whatever you do in life, be it working, exercising, meditating, whatever lifestyle that you choose to live, pain is an excellent teacher. Go through pain, and you will find your true potential. Realize that you already have the capability. You already have the capacity. You are already an unlimited being. You have infinite and boundless potential. Tap into your resources and you will find out for yourself. But you will only find out when you go to the beyond, outside of your comfort zone. For as my friend Lamb always tells me, only one who is willing to go far will find out how far one can go. Thank you for listening. This has been Jerome Shaw on Anchor, and also all the other different podcasts that this can be heard on: Spotify, iTunes, Apple. But you are listening to TOP, that is the Open Palm Podcast, here in Baldwin Park, California. And the open palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. And I do pray that you received a special message from this today, letting you know that you truly have it within you to achieve the impossible. You can make impossible just improbable. Turn impossibility to improbability, and then turn improbability to possibility. You can do it, my friend. If you enjoyed these podcast episodes and you got value from this one, why not share it with a friend? Pay it forward to someone who deserves to hear it. Share it with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing. And if you resonate with this and you particularly get value from these episodes, these positive messages, why not consider supporting it by opening your browser now to anchor.fm/jshaw, that is JSHAW, and supporting it there. That is much appreciated, my friend. If you have just a moment of your time, if you would give this a good rating on whatever platform that you are choosing to listen to it, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, have a blessed day or night wherever you are. Take care.